Jaws. 50-year-old Jaws hauls in over $8 million over the weekend in the theater. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for your support. Let's dig into this a little bit because there's something I think is really important that we need to talk about here, and I'm curious what you all think as well. As you can see here, if you look at this, number one at the box office, Weapons, which is in its what I think fifth week now, or maybe it just finished up 4 weeks, but it's not new. It's not new. I saw it when it came out. Very, very good movie, by the way. I highly recommend it. And there you see Jaws sitting in at number two, caught stealing. By the way, Weapons was also in a few more theaters. It's actually the only what separates Weapons from Jaws is $72 per theater. And then number three is Caught Stealing, which actually is a brand new release. And The Roses, also a brand new release. And yet, Jaws, folks, Jaws sits in at number two. Sorry about that. So, why is a movie that is 50 years old that pretty much everyone has seen at this point? I feel like over the years, like if you go back a little while ways before streaming and all that, like Twister, right? The original Twister, Jaws is just one of those movies that it seems like it's always, always on television. Once it got to the point where it's a television release, TBS, TNT, whatever it is, USA, it's constantly on television. One of those movies that if you see it, boom, you pause and you start watching it. And of course, we've got the big screen TVs that have come down so much in price that pretty much everyone who has a TV has at least something that's 35, 40 inches, whatever it is, widescreen TV. And yet, 50 years later, people went to the theater enough over a weekend that Jaws came in number two at the box office. Why? Well, by the way, I'll add to the number one because there's a rarity there. Why is Weapons number one yet again? Why is this slow burn of a horror movie, psychological thriller type movie done over 132 million at the domestic box office? Are you ready? Story. Good story. It sounds crazy. It sounds simple, but that has been what has been missing from almost every movie Hollywood has been releasing in the last, what, at this point, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. People are desperate to watch a well-made, well-told story. It all starts with the story. It all starts with the script. And Hollywood has seemed to forget about that recently, whether it is uh, you know, special effects laden and they're all focused on CGI or just, the spectacle of a superhero or action movie, along with a whole bunch of other stuff, of course, where we're remaking and rebooting and sequels and prequels. And of course, we've got to mention we're gonna race swap and we're gonna gender swap and all this other stuff. So these are poorly told stories with characters nobody cares about. And that's the other thing too, right? Jaws has interesting characters that people want to know more about, that people want to watch on the screen. Weapons had the same thing. Now they're two completely different movies, and I'm not saying Weapons is an all-time great about Jaws, but I'm just saying it is a new movie that did really, really well. And it's for that. I mean, the whole movie is about story. Yeah, the ending is wild, but this is for those of you that haven't seen it, I don't want to give anything away, but this is a slow burn and it's I mean, there's a mystery obviously with these kids that just one entire class other than one kid that got up in the middle of the night at the same time, walked out of their house and disappeared. But the movie doesn't actually focus so much on that as the aftermath of it and what it's done to the characters in the town. And it's very, very interesting. It's a very well told story. And that is Jaws, right? Jaws is almost a perfect story. You don't see the shark very often, and it takes a long time before you do. It is just a very, very well told story. And the fact that Jaws came back 50 years later to be number two at the box office this weekend, and number one just happens to be one of the few really good stories that I've seen in the theaters in a while. It screams how desperate people are for Hollywood to start making good stories again. That's what it starts with, and you got to go from there. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you think about Jaws doing so well over one weekend 50 years later. And also, of course, my comments. I'm curious what y'all think about how important story is and whether or not Hollywood's been giving us that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate it. Do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. And I will talk to you in the next video.